Well, this is more than just concerning.
These are not the images we should be expecting to see from a team that survived Portugal and survived to get to the round of 16. I appreciate them taking care of the fans, but let me tell you, Carly Lloyd's butt would be back in the locker room kicking things, throwing things.
I have never witnessed, and just seeing these images for the first time right now on the desk, I have never witnessed something like that. There's a difference between being respectful of the fans and saying hello to your family, but to be dancing, to be smiling, I mean, the player of the match was that post.
I think Carly Lloyd said it all. The USWNT team is an embarrassment for everyone who's an American. I really mean that. I am so sick of the Megyn Rapinoe look at me attitude with these sports stars that are on country teams. This isn't some team playing for a city. It's not Los Angeles, not Las Vegas, it's not Miami. This is the USWNT, the United States Women's National Team. You represent America. I find it hard to understand how the USWNT, a national team, is populated with people who don't like America. You're taking the money, the funding of Americans. You're taking American tax dollars to go over and completely act like idiots wherever you go. You paint your hair, you want your complete individualism, you want to take to social media and say how bad the country is, you want to go out there and support that somehow, I don't know, men can become women but they can't play on your soccer team. You want to do everything that's so anti-American, but you want to play for that country's national team. Doesn't make any sense. And I'm so glad that somebody like Carly Lloyd has called them out. It has no place in American soccer. It has no place in American sports. If you're on a private team, go for it. But if you're on a national team, a team that represents the country, this is absolutely an embarrassment. Maybe you think otherwise, but there is and should never be an I in team. We've heard that cliche. However, it goes further. There should never, unequivocally, be an I in a national team. You're playing for the flag that for some reason, you decide you want to speak out against. You're there to carry the flag, to carry the mantle for the United States. But you want to preen and dance and color your hair purple and be me on my dime. It's unacceptable. Now, I don't know if you had a chance to read this article that Jason Whitlock put out, but man, he hit him hard. He hit the USWNT very, very hard. So I'm going to spend a couple of minutes and let's go through this article because, man, it's eye-opening. So this is Jason's article, Rooting Against Megyn Rapinoe and the USWNT as Reparations for Men. I'm going to go further. I believe it's reparations for all Americans, not just for men. So let's go through this article. I've highlighted some of the parts of this article. I want to put a lot of this article that I want to bring to your attention if you haven't had a chance to read it. It starts here. I don't feel bad rooting against the U.S. women's national soccer team in the World Cup. Nope, I don't either. I find it disheartening that I'm rooting against an American team. Being as patriotic as I am, I want America to succeed, but these people don't like America. And I'm not speaking for every single athlete on the team, but they're led by a nucleus of players who just abhor what America stands for. I'm not going to feign indifference. I want them to lose. I'm angry that Portugal's best chance in extra time early Tuesday banged off the post, allowing the team to advance to a knockout round via a 0-0 tie. What was funny is they were celebrating like they won. You earned a tie and you were celebrating. That in itself is disgrace. That's embarrassing. And it's your second tie in a row. So you're basically crawling into the 16, the next round. It goes on here. It says, Portugal almost ended the American nightmare. The band of Megyn Rapinoe led entitled women who struggle to respect our national anthem and lie about pay inequality. Now, he's probably going to get into this. Well, you know he's going to get into this pay inequality stuff, but more people pay to watch men's sports than women's sports. It's a supply and demand. You just can't say entitlement. I need as much money as LeBron. I need as much money. I'll put it in soccer terms. I need as much money as Messi. It's insane. You're not worth it. You don't drive that kind of revenue. So Jason goes on to say, after finishing with their second straight tie against an inferior opponent, both teams they should have beaten, Rapinoe and company preened, danced, took selfies, and celebrated as if they had avenged their loss to a group of 15-year-old boys. You look that up. They got crushed by 15-year-old boys. 15-year-old boys destroyed the U.S. women's national team. Their post-game bravado was so unseemly that the Fox Sports broadcast team blasted them, and blast them they did. Listen to what Carly Lloyd says right here.
Well, this is more than just concerning.
These are not the images we should be expecting to see from a team that survived Portugal and survived to get to the round of 16.
Yeah, they look like they just won a championship when all they did is earn 2 ties to get into the next round. And they're so, have you seen any, let me ask you, have you ever seen any men's team celebrate a tie like this? I haven't. Let's continue.
I appreciate them taking care of the fans, but let me tell you, Carly Lloyd's butt would be back in the locker room kicking things, throwing things.
I have never witnessed, and just seeing these images for the first time right now on the desk, I have never witnessed something like that. There's a difference between being respectful of the fans and saying hello to your family, but to be dancing, to be smiling. I mean, the player of the match was that post.
And what she means by that is Portugal had a chance to win it late, and they took a shot and it hit the post. It wasn't the team. The team didn't win it. They got a tie, and yet they're dancing around like they did something. It's completely embarrassing. Completely. They are a disgrace, a national disgrace. But let's continue with the article. Jason writes here, should we be surprised by their behavior? No. The collective sense of entitlement and lack of gratitude, really, they're not gracious whatsoever, create a delusion that only failure and embarrassment can correct. Absolutely right. Absolutely, I agree with him 100%. You can't bring people down a notch until they get taken down a notch. And I'm not sure losing to Portugal would correct anything. If they lose on Sunday to Sweden, I'm sure Rapinoe will figure out a way to blame sexism, systemic racism, or homophobia. That seems to be the fallback on everything these days. Hey, the weather's not well. Hey, you know what? It's got systemic racism. Johnny can't read. Oh, it's systemically racist. Johnny can't add up any numbers. Oh, it's systemically racist. Colin Kaepernick can't get back into the NFL at 37 years old. Oh, it's systemic racism. Racism is everything. That's all they can say. So let's continue. The American nightmare has been 50 years in the making. The adoption of Title IX in 1972 was a plea agreement American men signed with radical feminists. We copped to a crime we didn't commit. We swallowed the lie that the patriarchy owed angry women reparations. It's not true. Men have not exploited women or denied them freedom and agency. Completely true. The customs of the past reflected the harsh realities of life before men paved roads, built skyscrapers, replaced covered wagons with planes, trains, and automobiles, and made eating as simple as loading your DoorDash app. He's absolutely right. And when you watch the game, if you watch the game this weekend against Sweden, don't feel bad for rooting against this team. Don't think it's unpatriotic to root against this band of nuts that's running around masquerading as an American national team. The USWNT doesn't like America, for the most part. I'm sure there's a couple ladies on the team who feel otherwise but can't speak up. The ones that do get shoved to the side. They don't get to play. You're either all in or you're chastised. As long as they have that multicolored person on the team, they're doomed. They are absolutely doomed. Maybe not on the field, but in the court of public opinion. Yeah, you can get invited to the White House because, of course, they adore everything the USWNT stands for. They love the diversity, the inclusion, which is actually exclusion. Ask some of the girls who are on the USWNT how they feel about being included. You either wear the ribbon or you can't play. It's as simple as that. Inclusion is an illusion. Just remember that when you're watching this stuff, and even when you're watching stuff in the regular television world, and people tell you how inclusive everything is, that's just a moniker for I'm going to shove my beliefs down your throat. I'm going to make you understand that, yes, everybody can have a baby. I'm going to make you understand that I can do anything that a man can do. I can play on a soccer field just as well as Messi can, and I will expect to be paid just as well. Meanwhile, in the real world, many of us who don't have a platform on YouTube and who can't speak out understand that this can't go on, that this is insufferable, that these people are led by forces that are ungodly. I'm over it. I'm as patriotic as they get. My dad was in the Army. I grew up watching movies like Bridge Over the River Kwai. My brother graduated from West Point, and at this point he's a colonel, served in, I won't even say, different places. I'm very patriotic. What these ladies are doing, for the most part, when I say these ladies, the nucleus of this team, is anything but. And so, number one, I won't be watching on Sunday. And number two, won't bother me at all if they lose. I don't care. Just want Megyn Rapinoe to retire and for somebody to step in and lead this team back to the patriotic team they're supposed to be. Let me know what you guys think about the USWNT and how they've basically lost their way. That's it. That's all I got to say. Let me know what you think.